Hey everyone, Mark and Joey here on a Tuesday morning, and Tuesday morning means MLB and talking about the wild card race and maybe a couple other stories we've heard during the week. But the wild card race is really the main thing that we're looking at here. Just a reminder though, ultimatesportschannel.com, everything is there for you. Matter of fact, we added a bio of ourselves. It's kind of funny. We've talked a lot, and in the beginning of our podcast, probably talked about our life and our relationship more, but so many new visitors. I mean, literally thousands on Roku and on Vimeo. Someone asked us that question, so we've actually added our profile to the website. So you can see that there, learn a little bit more about Joey and I and our journey for the last 22 years since you've been born. And you get a chance to see where we come from, what we like, and all those kinds of things, and know who we are, which is part of doing a podcast. So anyway, that's there for you. Also, our sponsors are there, which we like you to take a look at. Also, the link to all the places that we're podcasting now, audio and video. So take a look at that as well. You can go anywhere now. See us. We appreciate if you subscribe, follow, whatever the particular thing is called, to do it on each of the sites. If you can do that, we appreciate it as well. It shows us that people are enjoying the show, and we always enjoy feedback as well. So anyway, let's get into the MLB. I guess the only story I'm really watching here was Boston's resurgence this week. 8-2, I believe, in their last 10. So, and then today we hear about Chris Sale, which actually is probably a positive because he's not having a very good year.
They've won 5 in a row, but Chris Sale's been getting better, it seemed like, but now obviously he's out for the season with inflammation in the elbow. Don't know why it took them so long to really realize this. I don't know why they really haven't treated it before. I also am concerned, they say no Tommy John surgery, so what are you going to do to really get it better? You're just resting him? I think it's interesting at this point in the season to do that. His fastball had been a lot slower this year. We knew something was up.
Yeah.
But yeah, 6-11 for ERA, but had some good games here, kind of in the stretch, in and out, but you hoped he would turn it around for this big run towards the finish. Now they won't have him. Now, I don't know if you said that might be a benefit. Obviously, his record would make you think you could find someone better, but I don't know who they have to call up right now. They didn't make any trades for pitchers at the deadline. Maybe if they knew this, they could have done something, but he is out for the season, so I'll be very interested to see who they call up, how they run their rotation, as they're still trying to get to the wild card spot. But it's going to be tough because in the AL, you really have, in my mind, a 2-horse race for the wild card. I think Boston's going to fall off here. You talk about trends. You typically go up and down. Boston obviously winning a lot right now. I don't think they'll be able to continue it. Obviously, they are the World Series defending champs, but
you're just saying because both damn championships are in Boston area, New England.
You got Tampa Bay though, who is clinging to that last spot, and they look really good. And then you have Oakland, who's playing amazing to get in right now. Actually, it would actually be a great story. And what we talked about last week was the one division that flip-flops, Minnesota and Cleveland. Well, now they're in danger, really, as a wild card spot. It might come down to whoever wins the division gets in. Yeah, so they had a tough go of it. Specifically, Cleveland did. Minnesota taking over the division. So, lots of fun stuff in the AL wild card, which is what you want of a wild card, essentially. And, get yourself to that one game and then possibly get yourself into a 5-game series with a division winner after that. So, we're going to see coming down here. We're not going to change much. I still think Cleveland and Minnesota will both make it.
Yeah.
They'll flip-flop for the division the rest of the way out of the season. But I do believe whoever doesn't win the division will still make the wild card. We said that in our other one. And then I think we had Oakland. We wanted Oakland
to get there. Just always pulling for a team that doesn't have the budget. It's amazing how they can get the players and get such good baseball teams.
And we hate the AL East anyways. We hate everyone on the AL East. So, we would like to see Oakland get there. Obviously, we've seen Moneyball a bunch of times. And even, speaking of great stories, that kid they signed threw a perfect inning in his first relief pitch. And by the way, what I'm talking about, kid at a Colorado Rockies game threw 96 in a fun fan thing. He ended up getting signed by Oakland in his first inning at AAA ball through a no-hit inning. So Oakland always doing cool things. Always signing players and doing funky things to get themselves to the playoffs, which they still tend to do on a consistent basis. About every 2 years, you'll see them in the playoffs and they lose all the players.
And just to mention AL East, as we are starting to see some things for our hometown Blue Jays, so we're going to mention that they're hitting like crazy. Pitching's still a mess.
Guerrera,
they did have a pitcher in Buffalo get a no-hitter last night. A 24-year-old that they drafted number 1 in 2016. So some hope for the Blue Jays maybe in the future. They were talking about a couple other pitchers. Obviously, all we're missing right now is pitching because the hitting is on fire. And so good news for us. So we want to talk about we're out of the playoffs, so we have something to talk
Well,
about.
although we've been on a great stretch recently, so the hitters are coming. They gotta be careful of Guerrero's injury.
Yeah.
But yes, obviously the hitting's there. The pitching's not there, but it's not in the bullpen. It's not in the starting pitching. So they have a lot of pitching to get if they want to be competitive soon. If they truly believe these rookies are ready to go. In time, hopefully sooner than later. So
and there's our homer report.
Yeah.
We can move on.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's the AL. You got two divisions locked up with Houston and New York. The one division is going to flip flop. We think both teams will make the playoffs, and then we're cheering for Oakland to get in. We think they're the most balanced team out of the Tampa Bay, Oakland, and Boston. Also, we just want them in there. We don't like the AL East, so
that's right. They beat up on us too.
They already have New York, so. Let's go to the NL, and the NL obviously is the most crazy wild card right now. Every team's in it. Even a team like San Francisco. It's really not a strong wild card. What I mean by that, the records are only a couple games over 500 right now. Is close, but the one big move was St. Louis. St. Louis really made a huge move here, and now they've taken over the division, which was kind of shocking to me. Their pitching has been phenomenal. They actually pitched a complete game one hitter with a bunch of pitchers. Like they had 4 pitchers in that game, bullpen starter. So they're kind of all together right now working. They don't have a big starting pitching lineup like something like the Mets, which we went with, and we still believe they'll get in the playoffs. They've now won 2 in a row.
They came back,
kind of bounced back.
Yeah.
But the Cardinals are just using everybody in their lineup. It's just working together as a team, and it's looking really good. Kind of surprising for me that they took that over from the Chicago Cubs. The Cubs, speaking of which, went on a bit of a losing streak, couldn't score any runs, scored 1-2, and gave up a ton of runs to Cincinnati, like 10 and 11 runs.
Yeah.
But they have also won 2 in a row. So they might flip-flop by next week. We might be right, and those teams might be getting in the playoffs. But right now, that was probably the biggest move with St. Louis. I said would fall out. They've actually gone on and now taken the lead in their division. Also, Washington, very impressive of them.
Yeah, man.
When Bryce Harper left, I don't think he thought that they were going to now be a playoff team. They couldn't do it with him. Maybe too much drama, I'm not sure. But Philly's not in it, and Washington's in it as of right now. So what do we see? We kind of see still the Mets getting in, but now the St. Louis Chicago division,
really changed.
That's interesting. I think the team that doesn't win that division could easily be out. Washington has now given themselves a decent lead, about 4 games over the Mets in the wild card race, which is the team right now that is 2 games out of the final wild card spot.
But there's a number of other teams right in there. Like one good week moves
so you got,
other guys right into the picture.
Yeah, you got lots of
really
teams
tough.
here. You got
really
even San Francisco still has a chance. Honestly, they could easily do it. They had a good 10 games since Tuesday. There's it's such a chaos right now in the NL, which is obviously very exciting.
Yeah.
Should create a great last month and a half, I guess, of the regular season, about 6 weeks. So very, very cool. It's all baseball could ask for. And then you're going to have the big one game between all these teams fighting for it. So going to be very interesting. Obviously, that division, though, is going to be something else because if you get in that division, you get to go straight to a series. So that's Chicago, St. Louis division. Going to be very interesting coming up.
Hey, maybe you guys, if you're golfers, you watch our golf show, we've been talking about the fact there's been no playoff in golf all season. Could there be a tie for the wild card spot? And they actually have to play 2 games. They have to play one to break the tie, then play the wild card game. Well, I think that's how they'd have to handle it.
It would certainly be very cool. And I mean, also in that division, you got Milwaukee, who I still think is very good and needs to get back to the playoffs. But yeah, you have something like that. I mean, a tie for the division. I don't know how they go about. Do they play?
I think it's a playoff game. I don't
play.
know how
so maybe a tie for division. Maybe it's a wild card.
You know what? We're going to check that for next week.
We got to check that. But definitely this division has it all. You got the Cubs, Cardinals, and the Milwaukee Brewers. And even the Cincinnati Reds. I don't think they have a chance for a division, but possibly a wild card. And Milwaukee's probably more wild card too than division, but it's something else. Lots of teams. You got 3 teams, honestly, making the playoffs from the NL Central. But we're still going for the Mets are going to squeak in the final spot.
Yeah, we still like the Mets.
I think only one team from that division is making the playoffs, which with what I've seen out of Washington of lately, it's hard to believe now that they're going to fall off. I thought they would, and you get Milwaukee in there as well. But right now, I see whoever wins that division, the NL Central, will get in, and no one else from that division will make the playoffs as far as I'm concerned. I think the Mets can squeak in there. Washington's continuing to impress. They're going to go on, I think, and make it now. They have a lot of confidence. Scherzer's back after his injury. Strasburg's 15-5 this year, by the way, Canadian boy. So glad to see him doing well. And sometimes getting rid of that Bryce Harper distraction can really bring the group together.
Well, it brings the team together quite often because one guy's always the focus, and now he's not there, and now the team can pull together. However, As you guys know, if you watched our sports wagering show on golf, I hit the triple last week of first, fourth, and fifth. And I'm giving you a bet right now to make a fortune in MLB. Boston Red Sox are going to make the wild card spot. They're going to go on a massive run. They're showing it already, 5 in a row. This is Boston. They've been hanging around. I don't know why they've been playing so bad all season. Whatever the little things are in there, great teams make great runs. This is the World Series champions. Until they're beaten, I'm going to believe in them. 6 games is not a lot with 6 weeks to go, and they can go on a big run. And there's not a lot of teams. I always like to see there's not a lot of teams between them and the wild card. Unlike the NL, if you were 6 out, why there's a 4, 3, 2 2, 1, and you got to go by 5 teams, the odds are really, really small. But here there isn't that many teams. And one of them is Oakland. I love the Oakland story always because they don't have the $1 billion a year that Boston does. But realistically, Boston can turn on this power. I really believe it. Head to your betting, whatever you use to bet. Get some odds on Boston. Make the wild card. I believe this is going to happen. It's your bet of the year for me in baseball. And this is your opportunity to make some money off the game of baseball. So that's it. That's our MLB. Every week we're just going to check in. There's lots of movement that happens, like this week with a couple new division leaders. So we'll cover that and see if there's any news, just like there was out of Boston actually, with the sale being off for the rest of the season. And we'll see how that impacts them or helps them. And I really think it's going to help them because I think his game has not been there, which sort of hangs over the team as well. It's tough for the manager to sit him and do all these kinds of things, even when he's pitching bad. So maybe somebody's going to come up here and fill the spot, and the team will get inspired to go out and win the rest of these games they need to win to get to the wild card. So there you go. That's our MLB wrap up for this week. We'll be back next Tuesday to recap the wild card and the couple divisions that are flip-flopping and see what's happened there.